All right, good morning, everyone. This is Michael Venezia, head trader at TradeView Markets. It's Friday. It's been a hell of a week. You know what? We've been saying that a lot. It's really been great trading. I'm going to sign into. By the way, it's turning into the middle of October. Okay, so we're a couple of weeks into the quarter. We have the economic numbers. The CPI was Wednesday. The CPI was yesterday. The market made an unprecedented move, and we're going to sign in to TradeGATEHub. Actually, this is how, in the morning, this is what I do. This is how I sign in. Boom. If I want to sign in to TradeView Markets, I go TradeView Markets. I go right here, TradeGATEHub. I got my password saved like everybody else does, and I'm in. And that leads me to everything. Okay. So I posted something yesterday, and this being October 3rd, yesterday being October 13th, and this is this. It's been that type of week. You see, I don't even shave anymore. Right here. What does it say? Today, which was yesterday, Thursday, the 13th of October, was the fifth largest intraday reversal from a low in the history of the S&P. Okay. You know what? And that was the wild thing yesterday was the VIX was so complacent. We had to see the futures yesterday morning opened up about 3 handles. And you know what? Go over yesterday's video, and you could yesterday's video, if you will. Pardon me. Ooh, pass right back up. Futures, go to the red YouTube button, and you'll see our video. Coach and I talked about it yesterday afternoon. Go to videos, and it was here 22 hours ago and 1 day ago, Coach and I. So go back and look at yesterday's video. Matter of fact, this is one of the most. This was an epic week, not to quote my 18-year-old, but start going back for the videos from Monday and learn to see that the data that we process and the data that I put out is very, very consistent, even in order as I put it out. And I try to be that consistent because when we get through a routine and get to know your style, then it gets time to gain time. You won't be fumbling around for things. So check out our video from Monday through Friday, or yesterday. Today, obviously being live. If you missed it, go to the red YouTube button and go back to TradeGATEHub. Okay, so there's volatility in the market. And let me digress and say something again. And we were talking in the room today. If you don't have a TradeView Markets demo, get one. I use it. You know, I have a privy to know a lot of traders around the world as well as my peers. I'm 50 years old. I know a lot of guys that know a lot of tricks. We offer a couple of different platforms at TradeView. I choose to use the MT5 platform as well as others. Test them out, if you will. And this is a time to test them out when there's movements, historical movements like this. And my point being, if we go back a little bit, as a matter of fact, I can't go back because we're posting so much data that we can't even go back that far anymore. Excuse me, I apologize. Bottom line is, but even the historical trading volumes are off the charts. So get a TradeView account demo. Hedge funds. This is where we closed yesterday. They're still short. They didn't cover much. It's all right. I digress. Where did I start off this morning? And this is part of the Friday routine. Okay. Always watch the Twitter feed, if you will, about what's going on with Mike Santoli. Happening now, too. We also give you the video of what's happening now, that particular day on CNBC. So play that. It takes how much? A minute and 23 seconds. Take a minute and 23 seconds out of your life. We talked about this for weeks, Coach and I. Perhaps the short sellers were using options to beat against the market and didn't understand the power of instruments. Everybody was selling calls. That's what I heard all week. Everybody was selling calls. So I understand. Look at Roblox. What happened here? I understand you want to take premiums out, but you know it got lopsided, and that's why the move was like that yesterday. Party. Okay, wave theory, Joe. But that's for you. Comments yesterday on Goldman's trading desk. Look what they were doing yesterday. We're most active across semis, up, discretionaries, and fins. Those are up today. Okay. Always an economic calendar for a plan, and always a dissertation from one of our favorite feeds, our favorite Twitter feeds. Go over it again. Short-term sentiment. Yesterday it was down to what? I think it was under 9. Yeah, it was under 9, which was unprecedented. Oh, due for a bounce. But you know what? Like we say, it's a tool. These tools are not foolproof. So yesterday they made a nice little bounce there. Still a little juice in the punch bowl. Here's a long-term chart of the futures. If you can't see it, blow it up. We also gave the levels, a couple of stocks out there. JP Morgan acted well. NTNX. Joe, but this was one of our plays, or I think it was Gerard. NTNX. It was acting so well. See, this was these type of best of breed stocks that I was trying to put in or have to work in the fund that had good earnings and hung in there. GLBE was in there. Where are we? GLBE acted well after earnings. Right here. This was an earnings move, and then NASDAQ was weak, and it continued to hang on for a while, but just the last 2 weeks it broke down. NTNX was another one of those. But that, you know what? That actually didn't break down. And actually, you know what? It pulled the GLBE. It did hold the 50-day, but it was waffling. There's nothing really it's going to make you dip your toe into NTNX. Only the fact that it held a gap and it's not making new lows as a NASDAQ is. So, you know what I mean? So if you're lucky you had it, that was always in the option play. You can't deny that, gents. Hold on a second. Let's check out the situation here. BGFV, AGQ, SU, you stink. Halliburton, you stink. Roblox, you stink too. Down 30. Is that right? Yeah, whatever. Want to check the positions, I have to. Trust me, if I was managing your money, you want me to as well. Okay, getting back to this Friday afternoon. All right, so. All right, let me put a chart on the SPY. So everything is about stock picking now, and why? I wouldn't be buying breakouts. I bought breakouts this morning and I got hurt. Let me remember to bring that up about those breakouts. I hate buying breakouts. You know what I mean? Obvious breakouts. What do we have? Murphy Oil was a breakout. I loved it, but I'm trapped in it a little bit now. I think it's got some time to work off, but I'm okay with it. All right, here's a chart on the SPYs. You know what you're gonna? The SPYs went from 348 to 366 yesterday. So let's put up a 2-minute chart. Here was the CPI number. Even if you want to be a short-term trader, once they broke the open, there's the opening print right here that like double, with that volume, with that bar at 350, you let it ride. So I actually took some off I was doing the video. You see 11 Eastern yesterday. And if you go back to yesterday's video, again, the red YouTube button, you'll see what was happening as I was going through the rally. So I took some off yesterday. I thought it would rest at the gap. I shouldn't have really. I wasn't emotional. They're basically real where they are to a degree. Like here, like Matt, I was upset about taking it up at 77. You know what I mean? Right here, I took it off 76. It rallied to 80, but it's right back where it was. And my point being is a lot of these stocks with this movement and the volatility, the SPYs are included, are going to have these inside days. It's going to be inside this candle, or however you want however you'd like to articulate your charting. It's going to be within these ranges, and I have no problem with that. It makes easier trading. Let's look at an example for Microsoft with a range that had a $17 move apart. So this is the range of Microsoft. This is a 2-minute chart going back to 7 days. You know what I mean? These are the levels right here. It's 230, which was always the option price. You certainly, 230, 225. You like it to the whole dollar sale. Start maybe trading it that way. Roblox, we're in it. What happened here? I like the Roblox. We're in it. AMD, another one. It's not really trading. AMD, not really more. Apple, okay, from 133 to 139. So by the way, is Apple really bottomed after? Let's go to a daily. Apple really bottomed after going down from 40 straight. But it's yet to be determined. I think it's still one move away from having a bad day, if you will. But we'll see what's happening. Futures going lower as they do this. They always make a move when I get on here, right, Coach? So futures, listen, you don't want them to go. 360 was the one on TradeGATEHub where I said that they should hold. It's arguable where everybody might want 355 on the SPYs. I gave the plan today on the ES, as I do every morning. Is the economic calendar, and the plan was this: at the 6 red days in a row, the biggest intraday reversal in history. Okay, bulls must defend it. 3665. That remains the support, and I thought that was around 360. But Lewis is playing 3,500 is the line in the sand. So that's all you have to do, and that's basically right here at 3550 on the SPY. So It's yet to be determined. But you know what? You don't have to be a hero or pick bottoms and tops anymore, because we're going to be in those good ranges. JP Morgan had earnings. Okay, I sold it yesterday. I'm not going to lie, at 109 or 111. Because it had earnings. Now it's trusting, testing the downtrend line. Goldman Sachs, although they had a lack of IPOs, that's why they're down. Morgan Stanley, same thing. Is it down still? Morgan Stanley's down too. What a reversal in this thing. Morgan Stanley, range, news, and price action. All you need even intraday. 79 to 75, big range in price action. Net, PayPal back then, TTD, Nevada, right back down. Yesterday's low on Nevada was what? 108. Now it's sitting 114. Nevada. No interest with me right now. Riven right back down. Tesla, the big daddy. Tesla, yesterday's low on Tesla was 203 and change, if I remember correctly. It's 212. It's just trade between those levels right there. Earnings are starting. It's coming into the weekend is coming to an end. You have a stock like JD. Look at this JD breaking down still. So as you saw yesterday, there's not really that much edge to take that much overnight risk when you're having moves like this. It's even continuing today. And a stock like Murphy Oil that I wrote that I wanted to play. Now I'm stuck in it. Now I really thought Murphy, when it closed yesterday on the high with volume, and I was playing it that the market was going to open down. And when the market opens down, which it waffle. The first thing they would run to would be oils or Halliburton. Now I'm still in Halliburton. You know what I mean? Now it's sitting on the 200. I don't want it to, now it's, you know what I mean? I thought it was going to have that blowout today. I'm not going to lie. What about my SU? I am still in SU. It's waffling too. I don't think I'm going to get damaged in it, but just like everything else, when the market's as volatile, it's it's a headline away from going completely way against me. NVAX, Nutella. Didn't have any, talking about egos, didn't have an ego there, Nutella. Buying that at 90. What about the CRISPR? Same thing. Marna, NVAX back to 20. NVAX back to 20, 6-minute chart, still, futures 361. I'm not doing much here. I'm trying to maneuver out of stocks. The only problems that I really have right now are some of these low floaters that I made a new rule with not taking overnights with the VIX over 30 and no stocks under 5. Well, I'm going to make it 4. I made it 4 inside my head. Pardon, LEC. Plug pre-announced today. There's the chart on Plug daily. Headline away. I was trying to buy it at the gap 755. That's why I said the short LEC this morning. It had a one-day wonder. It opened unchanged. And then it opened a little bit, opened 2320. I said the short at 2350, the gap up 2370. Probably even hold it, go lower. Retest. ExxonMobil oils. Now we got an issue. All right, let's go with the wise guys are doing. Always stay with the plan. Hold on. Our plan for today stands. There was a plan, a focused list of strong stocks, relative strength. The majority is still oils. It's like I said, I'm long Murphy and I'm long SU and Hal. Everybody's been knowing all week. Now it just takes one day. Upgrades, downgrades, trade the news. Well done, Gerard. Trade the news. Thank you for the headline. Lewis, and guys, listen, Gerard and Joba. Like I said, I use MT5. Get in touch with Lewis and email him about any questions you use. It's not like we made up the platform. It's just we make the platform better, as well as other platforms. Hop on board. I mean, you've been talking to us for 6 months, a year now. The last thing we're trying to do is solicit your business, but it's about time that you guys got familiar with the platform, because maybe we can all, get used to something similar. And it's a platform. Like I said, I'm not the judge and the jury, but I certainly am not going to be costing myself a lot of money by not driving or use a vehicle that I don't think is not top notch. I mean, I don't want to go to a gunfight with a knife. I certainly talk about edge all the time, and that's not the case with MT5. So get in touch with Lewis or a coach. He'll be glad to help you out. So let's look what the wise guys are doing. As the futures are near the lows, collapsing markets underway. I beg to differ. Okay, I want to see some big sweepers come in. Futures, you stink. All right. Here we are. What's the option flow coming as we approach 11:20? Update. Sweepers are non-factor here. So you know what? It's stock picking. I want to see some guys after the move the market made yesterday in this pullback. I want to see guys come in. All right, Apple's, we've seen enough. There's been capitulation. I'm going in Microsoft or Amazon. And you want to see these guys go out to like January, not weeklies, going out 2 weeks just so they don't, instead of buying Amazon at 111, they buy some calls and the money calls, cheaper and not lay out a lot of capital. I get it. So if the way I use this option flow, when it was coming up here, a lot of earnings protection and big names, some cheaper Momo puts and weeklies, not interested. That means stock picking's better, but it's all about the machines in this market, and they're feeding solely off the yields in the dollar. The yields in the dollar, if you go back and go to TradeGate's YouTube channel, it's all about yields in the dollar. Once again, we didn't solve any mystery, but it's still that way, and you have to trade that way. And nothing else matters. And he's right. Picture on the dollar. Dollar getting a little toppy. That's good. Wow. Put calls getting washed out. The VIX getting a little too high here. Up volume, down volume. You know what? Stock picking, guys. We'll have a plan. There might be some movement later on in the afternoon, but people are repositioning. So just like me, some people are stuck in something. They're not stuck. I hate that word. You know what I mean? Some people are down in something. They like to maybe reposition, to see what happens after yesterday's number. I don't think there's going to be any fire sales, and nobody's jumping out the windows. But certainly, if the futures test that 3,500 or even 3,600 for that matter, I would be a little bit wary. Here we go here. Anybody else? SPY, day trading, Adam, Lulu. I need Lulu. Must be investigated. No big deal. Who's not being investigated? You know who's being investigated? Here's IPO Dave. Got my SPY short 360. 360 was the spot. He's right on Dave, because we said this morning, got to follow Dave too, man. Smart guy. 1 hour. Okay, so got a strong reversal, probably down to 360. That was an hour ago. That's when we went to 360. A nice whole number. I get where I said it. So, use my Twitter feed for to your advantage. It's about quality, not quantity. I follow 53 freaking people, for crying out loud. You know what I mean? And only Elon Musk, because he's interesting. He probably shouldn't be in there. So these people have high quality opinions. JP Morgan breaking higher on the day. Uber acting better. Shopify positive. Twitter, a couple of charts. I'll go through the top of my head. Baba, no good. Billy, I sold it yesterday for the short squeeze, didn't work. XBI, nothing. XBI still range bound. Halliburton, stink. Citibank positive, Goldman negative. It tells you something right there. They're making more in banking. They're doing on IPOs. When was the last time you saw an IPO come to there's a chart on the Qs from Helene from yesterday. That's the trend line that's the trend line for the Qs. That's all you need. Okay. And I'll leave off with this if I didn't say it 4,000 times. The only thing, if I'm preaching about stock picking, and I am, it should be matter to you, is up on high relative volume. As of 11:20 Eastern, look at all the stocks that have 200, at least almost 200% of the volume. Delta earnings, UNH earnings, Wells Fargo earnings, JP Morgan earnings, AGFY. Oh my God, it went. Oh. AGFY, this is a stock I had and I sold it. Had plenty of room. It's not overbought. I sold it yesterday. I had like 40,000 shares from 89 cents. It really didn't act that badly. Now it's going. It's momentum stock. There's 34 million and I'm out of it. Damn, it sucks. Fuck. I got out of it. The dollar stock. I went against my principles. So what are you going to do? UAL, Netflix, Shopify, good range, good volume. No. AVLR, Delta. So this is the stuff. ZVO, not interested. 15 cents. ATXI, sexy, not interested. Well, once it gets up a 4, I'll pay attention. ATXI, no interest. Wells Fargo. Okay, how about break new highs? We'll leave here. What's the breaking high right now? SHPH, low floater. AGFY, naturally, will bring it to you. Science Joy, not familiar with it. Do I want anything that's good? NTNX takeover. Golden, nothing really that good now. It's breaking low. I don't want to look, but I have to look. Moss. I said Moss. Moss is finished. I said Moss was finished. This thing out. And why do I think it's finished? Because of this. Moss should be going the other way, breaking down with volume, CF, the best of breed, now below the 50-day, probably going to the 200-day. So look for the AGs. SPWR going down, sticks going down. That's not good. XP, another one I wanted to buy long. XP, that's that Brazilian payment provider. Up and comer. You know what? You gotta take moves. That's why I didn't take moves. I took moves in these things. You know what I mean? I take move. When the market moves that way, you can't, as we were saying, you have to put your ego aside. Things are moving 18-20% yesterday. Of course, something's going to pull back. You know what I mean? So, you know, just take moves. If the VIX was under 20, you know what I mean? I'd make a recording. Actually, I wouldn't. I was going to be facetious. I go and play golf, but I would. If the VIX was in 20 or 24, we'd be talking about, adding to Murphy oil and breakouts or things like that. It'd be a different style of trading. It wouldn't be stock picking. It'd be trend more. You know what I'm saying, gents and everyone? So leave it at there. It's been a good week. If you hung on and got this far, and I know you did, congratulations. You know what I mean? It's going to get easier as I said. Thanks, guys. You know what? It's going to get easier. And the very good thing is volatility. And Coach and I and Tim are the people that made our careers on volatility and disseminating information. You know, anybody can buy an uptrend. And if it's holding the 8 and the 21 day like they did last year, you don't really need us that much. It's when there's more chaos is when we can bring more help. You know what I mean? So work on your style, have a plan. I'll see you after lunch into the weekend, and we'll have a plan. So cheers, and thanks again for tuning in.